And I learned and kind of grew up on the streets, and I learned to be a big, tough guy, and I didn't take anything. And, you were out there to play this game and to kind of whack people and to hurt people.
Vince Bagley, one of the great old sportscasters from Baltimore, had a great line. He says, he's St. Francis of Assisi with muscles. And that's a great line, because that's what he is. You see this big hulk of a man who's about as peaceful and tender a human being and loving a person as I've ever been around.
And there my father stood there and put his hands up. And as this 5-year-old boy, I had to stand here. And I had to learn how to throw these jabs and combinations. And I remember my father wanted me to get this jab with a snap on the end of it. And I remember I just couldn't do it. And it touched some anger in him that produced these tears in me. He just reached out and he started to slap me, to teach me that men don't cry. And for me, sports became kind of a life and death struggle to prove and validate I was a man. It was all built around the belief that if I could knock the guy in front of me down, somehow that was supposed to make me a man. I was just graduated from high school, getting ready to go to college to play football, and I got him a job with the Colts in the training camp. He just came down with this massive black and blue mark. The trainer who had been taping my ankles saw that, sent him to Johns Hopkins Hospital. That night they admitted him and pulled me aside and said, listen, Billy's got cancer, and the type of cancer where there's virtually nothing we can do for him. I had 5 months to prepare for his death, but the reality and the finality was absolutely devastating to me. And the turning point of my life is we're in the middle of December, the snow's blowing. I'm next to the open grave. Then when I hear the priest say the last amen, everybody turns and just starts walking away. And I remember wanting to scream, to just stop. It can't be over. That's not it, is it? Do you just live and die, have some good times, some bad times, and everybody walks away? That's it? Boy, you got this great team coming down from New Jersey. They're bringing their A game. And we're all in this thing together, man. You got all of the great chapel message. We're going to be kind and empathic, and we're going to, love each other, and we're going to respect them, but we're going to penetrate, pursue, and we're going to punish. And we're going to put that ball, and we're going to do all that in the name of love with great respect, right?
This is not some cupcake city, namby-pamby kind of football program. These kids want to win. We want to win. But there's a right way to do it, and a wrong way.
What if we just use sports to help boys and girls become men and women? Men and women as defined by what? Capacity to love and be loved, have relationships. None of the kids I coach are ever going to make money at this sport. All of them are going to be husbands, dads, and citizens, members of a community. Should not that be the priority? And that's the payoff as a coach. That's why I coach. I want to be able to send citizens out there into the world that are going to make a difference. What better place to learn that than in the game of football? We say, what's the coach's job? And every kid on our team says, to love us. And then we say, what's your job? And every kid on the team says, to love each other. Every senior has to write his obituary. They have to pick the day from which they will have died. It's the seniors, and it's before the biggest game of the season. Then they have to read that to their teammate. So at the end of the obituary, every one of our players will talk about what committed and devoted husbands and dads they were. I think what happened to me is what happens to so many boys in this country. We have experiences like my father and I in that basement, and somehow we're taught that in order to be a man, you got to disconnect your heart from your head. And we live with this masculinity that's disconnected from the emotions, the capacity to love and to be loved and touch other people. And I wanted to figure out, how do I reconnect that?